G'day Bomber fans, the season is now done. Our elimination final against the Dockers resulted in a loss. We were beaten 36-26 in a tight, tense game of Saturday night footy, and it's the last footy any Essendon team will play for the year. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get the dub in the end. Congrats on a good season for the young Bombers. From here we can only get better, I feel, and hopefully we attack the draft and trade period to improve our list while our young and up-and-coming stars get better. Today will be a bit of a game review, but also some little snippets of a season review as well, just because I unfortunately am not getting the love for these AFLW videos to keep posting after our season is done. So no season review. I apologise for those who stick around for these videos, but I also thank you guys for doing that. It's hard to justify making them for the progression of the channel, but for fans like me who love both the men and the women's team, it would be weird not talking about them week to week. So cheers for sticking around and getting in the comments to talk about games. Next year we'll do the same. Let's get into the review. And also, as you can tell, I'm a little bit sick again, so apologies if this sounds like the worst ASMR ever. Quarter by quarter recap. The first started on our terms. The Dockers had most of the play going their direction, but we did really well to counter-attack and make ourselves dangerous with space, as shown by that early Amber Clark goal when she got out the back and ran into the open goals. We got our second after surviving multiple Freo attacks thanks to an Emily Goff set shot from 30 out. Really, though, we led but didn't go in as the better team, I'd say. The Dockers were wasting some really gettable opportunities, and it would only be a matter of time until they really clean that up. We started the second on the back foot, and it would only get worse from there. It started with the injury to Maddie Prasparkas. To say that was innocuous would be an understatement. A routine, uncontested mark ruled her out of the game. I don't really know what happened. And seconds later, Bess Keeney showed a little bit too much of the ball to Hayley Miller, who ran in to kick the Dockers first, and Mim Strong, a dagger to the heart with 30 seconds left, gave the Dockers the lead for the term. And it was clearly the scoring end of the field, and the Dockers led at halftime after getting their run at it. Freo got things started after the break and threatened to pull away. They kicked their third goal in a row and kept our time between goals larger and larger with that stingy defence, but that defence would be penetrated thanks to some Brooke Walker brilliance. She kicked us back in the game and within a goal, and just a few minutes later we would take the lead thanks to a Daria Bannister boundary snap. But the good news wouldn't last, because our most dangerous forward of the game in Amber Clark came from the ground after a big head knock, not ideal considering that is why she missed games earlier to the year. Hopefully all is well there. We did manage a few more behinds to end the term, leading by 4 at the last break. The Dockers had the luxury of going with the breeze to end, and it didn't take long for them to get the lead. We rallied a bit, but really this quarter was all Freos. We unfortunately just never got a proper look in. I think we had just one disposal inside 50 for the term. The Dockers were all over us to end, defending the ground so well and forcing us on the back foot with our attacks. They got another goal to create a 10-point buffer, and that is how it wrapped up. In the end, the Dockers were just the better team, winning 36-26. The season ended, so let's talk about it. How did we get beaten? Well, let's be real. We came into finals a slightly worse side than we thought we'd be. We were bottom of the 8, albeit thanks to some injuries to our list. In the end, we were just not good enough for a pretty good team. Credit to Freo, they played that game really well and responded to adversity by forcing the comeback. They did really well to just keep the ball in their half of the field, and after Amber Clark went down, we just had no answers to the style of play. They stopped our uncontested marking game. They then stopped our speed at the back. That last quarter was just us trying to, unfortunately, defend while we were already behind on the scoreboard. They played it perfectly, Freo. They killed us in the midfield, double the hit out, 7 more clearances, more disposals, 10 more inside 50s. We only really beat them for uncontested possessions, and it was only by a few touches. So they really won most areas, and the ones we did win, we barely got the upper hand in. I actually think we did pretty well to keep the margin to just 10 points. We took our chances, and luckily the Dockers missed a few of theirs early. And look, realistically, we got to talk about injuries. I don't think we were going to be ready for a top 4 premiership push, even with a fit list. So it's not really an excuse for the year, but I think the fact that this game was tight showed we've actually progressed and gotten closer to winning a final as a team. You look at the players missing. Bonnie Toogood, our captain, All-Australian last year, our best goal scorer, she isn't playing. Steph Wales then does her ACL, and we can't replace her in the ruck. We got absolutely killed in the ruck without Wales, and it shows how important she is. And then Van der Heuvel, who's another one who was not able to play late in the year. Cody Jarks, it was another first-team player. So that's 4 before the game ruled out. And then to add to that, Maddie Prasparkas, who was on a tear, goes down with that hip injury just a few minutes into the second quarter. From there, the game is lost. And to make matters worse, our most dangerous forward on the day, Amber Clark, goes down as well. So we had a pretty brutal run with injuries this year. It's not the reason for us losing or not being as good as this year as we were last year. I think we're even, but it plays a part. You just got to be fit if you want to be a really good team, and if not, you got to have good depth, and we didn't really seem to have either of those down our way. That needs to be fixed a bit next season, but yeah, injuries before game day hurt, injuries on game day can kill you, and losing someone like Maddie Prasparkas during a game, that just isn't really able to be fixed. Look, realistically, you got to be proud side of the girls, backs against the wall from round 1. As I said, injuries plagued us. We had a pretty tough draw. We had to come from behind to make the 8, so for us to do that, I am proud. We showed a level of resolve that the men would not have been able to show, I think. It was really, as I've said a few times, it was a lot more fun supporting the girls this year over the boys. Obviously, a win would have capped it off the year nicely, but it will put a fire in the belly for us next year, hopefully, and rev us up for a better charge. Last year, we exceeded expectations by making the 8. This year, we met expectations by making the 8 again. Next year, it is time for there to be some expectations for us to actually make a dent in finals. Semi-final minimum, and if we miss out, we can be disappointed. I really like the way this club is progressing under Natalie Wood, though. I like the list. I like the room for improvement. I like the way we play. Hopefully, this time next year, we're talking about a finals win. The girls look way more likely to give it to us than the boys. As we've said all year, they're just a much better team than the boys are right now. Season's done though, so obviously you can be unhappy and upset about the result, but a big pat on the back for the girls who showed a whole lot of heart this year to even get to a stage to be playing footy this late, so well done. Let's get on to the votes for the last time in 2024. Brooke Brown gets 1 vote, I think her first vote of the year actually. She was really solid in defence and had a great presence, won most of her contests, which shows by the fact most of their goals were in open play. Amy Gaylor gets 2, great debut season for her. I'm super excited to see how she goes next year. I think she is a massive part of our future. 3 to Steph Kane, not the best season, but she ended it on a high. Our co-captain really showed tremendous fight all day. 14 tackles, she was just so hard at it. Alex Morecambe, 4 votes, just everywhere in defence. She had a few iffy moments, but she was so prominent intercepting. She had 12 interceptions, the most on the ground. But 5 votes go to Georgia Nanscorn. The fact we stayed in the game for so long without Prasparkas, a big reason for that is Nanscorn. She was fantastic in the midfield, as she has been all year. She capped off just a super strong season with a brilliant final game. So let's have a look at the overall tally. Who took home the Everything Essendon Player of the Year award? Alright, so in 10th place we have Sophie Van der Heuvel on 7 votes, with Brooke Walker, Dari Bannister and young Amy Gaylor the last of the single-digit getters. The injured Steph Wales just missed out on a spot in the top 5, with co-captain Steph Kane taking it from her in the last match. There is a gap from here though. In 4th place is Georgia Clark, who had an unreal run of form to get up near the podium. She is, however, 10 votes away from 3rd place, and this is where it's tight. Maddie Gay ends the year on 27 votes, 1 vote behind Maddie Prasparkas on 28, but the winner of the Everything Essendon Player of the Year award by 1 vote is Georgia Nanscorn. Just a terrific and consistent competitor for us. Props to Maddie P as well, who has finished 2nd again by just 1 vote again. Last year it was Bonnie Toogood who beat her by 1 vote. This year it's Georgia Nanscorn. Hopefully next year she can join Bonnie and Georgia to win the prize for good, but again, congratulations to Nanscorn for just an outstanding season. It's great to have her in the midfield. But that is that. Again, big thank you guys for sticking around for the year. The views aren't here, but the vibes are. You got to feel bad for the guys and girls not choosing to follow this team, because if I had to solely support the men, I would be going a bit crazy. Well done to the girls for a strong season. Hopefully next year is better. And again, well done to Georgia Nanscorn for winning the best award in footy. She joins Zach Merritt and Bonnie Toogood as the only players from the club to have won the award. That is all for now though. Like, subscribe, see you next year, and go Bombers.